Please welcome onto the show the long snapper for your Pitt Panthers, Byron Floyd. Byron, how we doing, brother?
Doing good. Just got back from class and ready to chop it up with the fellas.
Hell yeah, you said you had an exam earlier today. What was that on?
Yeah, I was on intermediate microeconomics. So,
Oh, good Lord.
Riveting.
yeah.
I can promise you this will be more fun than that.
I hope so.
No, it sounds like a lot of fun. How's that? How's camp starting off?
Camp's good. We've been punting every day. We got a little competition with our punters. We just got a transfer from Elon and then obviously Caleb Junko from last year. We're punting every day, which is fun. I get to snap every practice. And, I was just telling the fellas before we hopped on that I hopped in the linebacker drills for Coach Narduzzi today. And looking forward to doing that the rest of spring so I don't get yelled at.
He wants you getting downfield faster, you said, right?
Yeah, getting downfield faster. He said the 2 fumble recoveries weren't enough. I need some tackles this year. So
I don't know. I'd give you credit for those. You had one against Tennessee and Duke, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
Do you get the takeaway sticker for that, or like last year, or is there something you have to do this year to? No, I don't know how helmet stickers work.
Yeah, that's just for practice. They give them the
takeaway
stickers. So and we're not live for punt, so unfortunately, I won't get any stickers.
So did you do a dunk on the sideline, or did you?
I did against. I'm pretty sure against Tennessee was my dunk on the sideline. So that was cool, I guess.
Do you think you took full advantage of the dunk? Like what did we go with? We didn't see it.
It was a basic one-hand dunk. It was, nothing special.
So is that something like now that you've had a taste for it, you're working on in the off season? I don't know, like a mini hoop on your door or something.
Yeah, I've been working on it. I actually do a mini hoop in my bedroom.
Lucky guess. So we at the Loyal Sons, we love our long snappers. Of course, it's, Pitt has had a great run of guys, throwing the long ball. And what we always love to ask is, how did you get into snapping? Because there's usually a fun story behind that, and some twists and turns. So you're from Mentor, Ohio. You played some guard, I believe, in high school. What transitioned you to long snapper?
So actually, I did start my freshman year. My grandpa did it for his high school and John Carroll. And then my dad did it when he was in high school. And he kind of was just sophomore year. Mentor's a big school. It's like one of the top 3 biggest in Ohio. So I knew I wasn't going to play O-line as a sophomore. So this is kind of just a way to see the field, at a young age. So I really started picking it up that summer going into sophomore year. I went to some camps. My dad really taught me like the basics of it. But yeah, I ended up winning the job as a sophomore and started, at Mentor. And then, I got my first offer from Kent State when I was a junior. And then I just kept going to camps and getting better.
So you said you're from 3 generations of long snapper.
Yeah.
It's quite the tradition.
Unfortunately, I didn't get my grandfather's size. He was 6'5", 300 pounds. I did not get that, unfortunately.
Enough size to go D1, though.
Enough, yeah. Not at O-line, unfortunately. I do end up finding myself watching. I go watch Pass Pro and them doing one-on-ones and stuff because obviously Jacoby went to Mentor as well, and we played next to each other my junior year. So, I just found myself going over there and kind of just talking to O-line stuff with them. So.
When did you realize, obviously you won the job your sophomore year, but when did you realize you were pretty good at long snapping? Was it when that first offer came in, or did you know right away, like, I got a thing for this?
To be honest, I was kind of terrible my sophomore year.
Oh, no.
I'm not terrible, but obviously because I still was able to do it. But really junior year, like that summer going into junior year, I went to a ton of like Rubio long snapping camps. And I was competing against other guys and stuff, and I just kept getting better. And then my coach, who I still work with, Adam Tanowski, he really shaped me, like finished the job. And he told me I was the best in my class. So, I mean, I just got better, and then offers came in. I was getting Toledo, Miami, Ohio, Clemson, and Pitt were honestly the final two. So
What
Well, I
made
guess
you?
a natural. Let's say a
Oh,
natural
sorry.
follow-up. What made you pick Pitt?
yeah, so honestly, it was Coach Powell. Just I felt more comfortable with Coach Powell as more like family, and obviously it's a lot closer to home than Clemson is. But Coach Powell really made me decide to go to Pitt.
So you mentioned that you kind of came up through camp systems in high school, and I know earlier in March you were at the Coles snapping camp in Morgantown. Uh, what does a snapping camp look like?
Yeah, so snapping camp, they're different everywhere you go. Honestly, Rubio and HKA, which is Adams camp, were the two main camps that I went to. Rubio has this big target that you snap into to compete. But the first hour and a half before you even start competing is really just drills and stuff. Just kind of like overhead throws, short 5-yard snaps. And then Adams camp start is very similar. It's about an hour and a half of drills. And Adams camps really focus on your laces on field goals. Obviously, you want the laces faced out. And that's where I really dialed it in this year, I think, for field goal wise with Ben. Obviously, the first couple games, it's a little shaky, but then once we got dialed in, I don't think we missed very much.
Love
Yeah,
to
I'd
hear
say
it.
so. You came through in some big spots down the stretch.
Yeah.
What was the biggest nerve-wracking snap for you last year? Was it one of those ones in the Sun Bowl?
Honestly, the Sun Bowl was the most chill. We were just relaxed. We were already 4 for 4 going into the last kick, and me, Ben, and Cam just looked at each other. Like, let's just do what we've been doing all day. It actually was a PAT against West Virginia to tie the game, which it's an extra point, but it was we do that every day, 50 times a practice. It's an extra point. But that was the most nerve-wracking snap.
Is there anything you do before big, extra points, big field goals, punts in tight territory to kind of get your mind off of the gravity of the situation?
That was actually something that I really practiced this year because it was a new thing. I've never, obviously sophomore year, I was in high school, I was just a snapper, but junior and senior year, I played O-line and long snapped. So it was I was never just, a snapper where I had to sit on the sideline and got 6 to 8 plays a game. Going out there, getting your one rep mental wise is hard. Harder than you think because you don't have 40 plays to make up for your one mistake. You got 4. So I think I didn't really do anything different. Each one I kind of just, definitely towards the end of the year, me, Ben, Cam and Junk, we all just kind of treated every snap and every kick the same, whether it was the first extra point of the game or the game-winning field goal. We just tried to keep everything the same.
That's good. Consistency is probably pretty good in that aspect, yeah. in your field.
Right.
So you stepped into the shoes of quite a legend, All-American Cal Adamitis, who's now with the Cincinnati Bengals, as we all know. What was it like to fill in for maybe the greatest long snapper in Pitt history?
Yeah, Cal's a true Pitt man.
Mm-hmm.
I love Cal. That's my pappy. It was really cool. Every week, I text him about his game. He texts me about mine. We were really close within these last couple of years that we were together. He never, when he was playing, he never went up to, Kirk or Kess or Sam Scarton when he was playing and asked how the snap was. It was always he came up to me. So it's kind of just our relationship really grew. We texted each other at least once a week during the season. But filling in for him was definitely a big shoes. Even Coach Powell, before the season, he even said that. You got big shoes to fill. So, I hope I did him proud, and I think I did. I'm only trying to get better this year, and I'm looking forward to working out with him this summer, snapping wise.
Is there a long snapper you? And if not, can it be Pitt? Because I think we got some pretty good long snappers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping it is Pitt after, Cal and then me, and we'll see who's next. Hopefully, I get to the next level just like Cal did.
So you guys used multiple different punters last year, left-footed kicker, right-footed kicker. How does that kind of mesh with the unit? Do you guys have to? I know you guys spend some different times with the different groupings, but does that make it tougher on a special teams unit when you have a bunch of different guys getting times, getting kicks?
Yeah, so even just to start it off last spring, obviously Sam Scarton and Ben Sauls were in that kicking competition, up until the first week. So I had to snap, both lefty and righty, field goal wise. So that was tough to start off with. And going into the punters, I mean, people can make excuses all they want. Ultimately, you got to put the ball in the same spot every time. But it was different because a lot of different punters like it in a specific spot. Some like it at their chest, some like it down at their waist. So that was kind of difficult this year, but coming into this spring, I kind of just said whoever's back there, I'm putting in the same spot every time, no matter where they like it. Just make it easy on myself.
So much like Cal, you are involving yourself with charity and using your platform for a charitable cause, as Squid is demonstrating right now. And yeah, you got one of the shirts, the Snapper 49 line. So can you tell us a little bit about what you're doing with Children's Hospital and what you're hoping to accomplish?
Yeah, so it's very similar to Cal. I made a fundraiser page with Children's Hospital, and obviously my goal was to be 49,000 by the end of the season. And it's kind of just a way to give back to the community and also build my brand at the same time, where I'm not making benefit off of it. But Cal was a big part of my inspiration. I was watching him, play with the kids and watching them cut his hair and stuff. And I watched him do that. I went home and told my dad, I'm like, I want to do that when I have the platform. And so he kind of just started, brainstorming ideas, and this just kind of came to surface.
So are you guys are you trying to start a tradition amongst Pitt Long-snappers that you guys are going to be the philanthropic position group?
Yeah, I did text Cal and I said, hey, like I'm going to do, something very similar with you. And I hope, whoever the next long snapper is, that they kind of pick up the tradition as well.
It's obviously a great cause. We heard about it a lot with Cal, and we think it's amazing that you're doing it yourself. Something unique to yours, though, on your Snapper 49 website, you got some merch. You also have some sauces. We have a Snapper 49 hot sauce. We have a steak seasoning. There's on the camera there if you're watching, and all-purpose seasoning. So, what was the motivation to help the foodies out too?
Yeah, my dad was actually just sold his grill cleaning business. He used to go to homes and clean grills, and the seasoning company, he used to sell all these seasonings to every house that he went to. Like they just said, yeah, like we'll take that. So that kind of took off for his business, and he was like, hey, like you like to cook? Like I just used it tonight on my steak, and so this is just kind of a cool little different thing to do.
I must say they are delicious. I took a dive in. Dylan, David, sorry I didn't share. I couldn't let it sit there unopened for too long.
Yeah,
Let's get a live test of the hot sauce.
So I was gonna fire up some chicken, but I got stuck in traffic on the way home from work, and
It's okay. Just raw dog
Toss it right on the tongue.
Yeah.
All right.
You said raw dog it.
Here we go.
Oh, he drank it.
Oh,
That was a swig.
I'm not a big hot sauce fan. I'm not good with too hot. This is in the sweet spot because it's got some flavor too. It's not just purely heat.
Yeah, it's like a chipotle pepper hot sauce.
Yes.
It's really good.
I have no water around me, but we'll
Kind of
power
set you
through.
up on that one.
Yeah.
So you're obviously a big grilling guy. Do you have any tips? Like, say I want to throw a sirloin on the skillet or something tonight, and run over to Squid's house, get the seasoning. Of course. Do you have any tips for the perfect steak or what tastes good with the stuff?
Yeah, so I'd use a cast iron skillet.
Perfect.
I put a little not butter. I put some olive oil on it. I put it in the oven about 425. Take it out while it's hot. Put some butter in it. Put the steak on, 2 minutes each side. Put it back in the oven for about 3 minutes, and it is mint.
That's perfect.
Yes.
got my mouth watering over here.
It's the first time we've given out a recipe on the show, and I hope people, if you get, first of all, snapper49.com, get the seasonings if you're listening to this. Second,
All profits donated to Children's Hospital as well.
Children's Hospital, yes,
Great
supporting
cause,
a
great
good cause, yes. We need you to try the recipe, and everyone send us pictures of it and let us know how Byron did. Please. So yeah, I love that you bundled it in with some merchandise. I was really confused how you did clothing and seasoning, because those felt like pretty disparate things, but makes sense now. So I wanted to ask you. I read Jerry DePaula's feature on you, and he had a little bit of background as to why giving back and specifically children's causes are so valuable to you. Would you care to share what might have inspired you to go down this road?
Yeah, so just kind of get straight into it. Me and he's my stepbrother, but we've been brothers since I was 5 and he was 3, so he's not really my stepbrother. But we were at my grandfather's house, and my grandpa has 7 acres and with a bunch of woods, and we would always go outside and play catch with a football and tackle each other and all that fun stuff. But we decided to go in the woods and just mess around, and there's actually a manhole cover out in the woods, like one you see in the street. And for some God knows why reason, me and him decided we were going to jump on it. And we fell through, ended up being a well. And it was filled with water, so we didn't fall all the way down. But we were just far enough down, treading in the water, where we couldn't reach the top to pull ourselves out. And it was in December, which in Northeast Ohio was snowing, and we were stuck in there for it felt like 3 hours, but it was only 30 minutes. And we were praying in there, me and him. I'd always mess around with him and stuff. He's my little brother, so I kind of just told him I wouldn't be a dick to him anymore if once we get out of here and all that. I still am a dick to him, but but we were praying, we were just talking to each other, and we thought we were gonna die because we were so cold and we were just treading water. There was a black tube coming out of the wall that I was hanging on to, and he was holding on to my wrist. And we were just sitting there. The first 5 minutes we were screaming, yelling, trying to get someone. But we were probably good. I couldn't even tell you. We're a good distance away from the house, where if you were inside here, there's no way you're hearing us. But my aunt, luckily, was in town, and she was leaving to go, to my great grandmother's house to say hi to her, and she hasn't. She was backing out of the driveway, and then she, realized that she didn't see us anywhere. So she ended up coming back and getting out of the car, which thank God for that. And she started yelling for us, and, we heard her faintly, and we screamed back. She came out. She, got to us. She pulled me out first, and she struggled. I mean, I was bigger than my brother, but I was probably about 100 pounds at least, and she pulled me out. And she needed help pulling him out because she had used all her strength to pull me out. So we pulled him out, and as soon as he came out of the water, he was out cold.
Wow.
And there was actually, to get down to the woods that we were at, there's a steep hill, and my grandfather was a big guy, and he had a bum ankle from wrestling and playing football, so he couldn't get down to us to help get Brennan out. But by that time, I was already inside. I went right into the hot shower. So I only know like the details that my aunt told me, but of like the rest. But a police officer, a woman actually, she carried Brennan up the steep hill and to the ambulance, and they went straight to the hospital. And when he got there, when he was in the ambulance, he was 80 degrees. So he had severe hypothermia. And once I got out of the hot shower, I just wanted to go to the hospital and be with him. My parents weren't there at the time. By the time they got there, I'm like, we got to go. Like, we're going to the hospital. And so we all went. And when I went and saw him, he was still unconscious, and he had like a bunch of wires hooked up to him. And that's how it was Cleveland's Rainbow Children's Hospital who ended up, saving his life. So that's kind of like the main point of getting behind Children's Hospital. And then obviously, I've had a lot of death in my family, like with my grandparents, and so just hospitals in general are for sure, I wanted to give back to them.
Absolutely. I mean, healthcare workers, we all don't really realize how important they are until we have to take advantage of their services. So I think it's amazing, man. We appreciate you sharing that story because I know when I first read Jerry's story myself, I was like, dang, like I started tearing up a little, and just hearing you tell the story yourself, man, it's super scary, but definitely amazing, a blessing that you and your brother are safe. And now that you get to kind of pass that on, we appreciate you coming on and telling us that story, and we appreciate you now giving back to children. It really is amazing, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for having me on and helping, spread the word.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're listening to this, I think we've said it before, but we'll say it again. Snapper49.com. All proceeds go to Children's Hospital. Incredible cause. We love what you're doing. But before we let you go, there's a segment we like to do with our Pitt Panthers called All Out Blitz, where we ask you we have to bring up the mood a little bit.
Yeah, we just have our man tell a heart-wrenching, emotional, life-changing story, but we also have this goofy little segment we want to have you do at the end, and hopefully it'll leave us out of here on a little bit of a high note. We'll have a little bit of fun with it. And
Sure. So
let you go about your evening.
So what we do is we ask rapid fire questions, and you can answer them rapid fire. If you have a story, we love stories, and you can take your time with it. But we call it All Out Blitz, and we'll see if you can survive the pressure. What do you say?
Let's do it.
Awesome. So we'll put 30 seconds. No, we're not going to put any time on the clock. First question: favorite Oakland establishment?
Stacked.
Solid choice.
Favorite coach's quote? Coach Powell, Coach Narduzzi.
Hurry, Coach Powell.
Great impression too. Who's on your pregame playlist?
Shit. You guys are gonna laugh at me, but it's J-Lo and Ja Rule.
Wow.
I love it. Jenny from the block.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be
job done.
It's going to be so satisfying, watching you snap another game tying or game winning point against like West Virginia, knowing the guy with the ball in his hands, Jenny from the block, is playing in his head right now.
Playing in my head.
Love it. Who's the more famous resident of Mentor, Ohio? You, Mitch Trubisky, or 20th President of the United States, James A. Garfield?
I mean, James A. Garfield's house, I pass every day. So, but no, that's probably Mitch. Definitely nowadays. He actually just got inducted to the Mentor Hall of Fame this past weekend.
Nice. I didn't realize it was the third biggest school in Ohio.
I don't know if it still is, but when I was there, we were the third biggest football school, at least.
Follow up: are you a Pittsburgh pro sports team fan, or are you a fan of those teams over in Ohio?
Go Browns, baby!
Oh no!
Oh,
All right, that's a good way to end this. That's a good way to end this. Let's see. You can see yourself out here. No, we got any more on the All Out Blitz? Favorite moment at Pitt thus far?
Oh my goodness, there's so many. Honestly, it'd probably be scooping and scoring against Duke, even though the touchdown didn't count. I did know the rule. I did know the rule before then, but when I saw the ball on the ground and I picked it up, I literally thought I scored. And Toby lifted me up in the air, like it was a cool moment.
I swear that happens every time. All the fans go crazy, and then there's people gradually like, not a touchdown, not a touchdown. But it's still so cool to see. You get the ball.
If that counted, it would have been my first touchdown in my football career ever.
I actually had the same thing happen to me in junior high because I was a long snapper too. Obviously, a bad one that I didn't make it past 9th grade. But it was a playoff game and I fell on a ball in the end zone and they took it away and I was ready to catch the fade with the ref. Like we punched it in the next play and I still argue with the guy who scored, like that was my touchdown. Just
that's
you had 20 this year, give this one to me.
That's what I told Izzy too.
Izzy didn't need another one.
Hey, he didn't need it.
No.
Well, here's the thing. You're gonna take that video clip, you're gonna show your kids, your grandkids, and you're gonna say, yeah, I scored a touchdown at Pitt. They won't know the difference.
Nope.
No. That is your touchdown. We are rewriting the record books one under Floyd.
Or how about we just have Coach Powell draw up a trick play for you so you can get a real touchdown? Then we don't have
I've been talking to him about that little snapper eligible. I've been talking.
Yeah, you don't have to share any trade secrets on the air, but think about it.
I don't know if you've seen, this was definitely before your time, but Nate Bossery once scored a touchdown.
Yeah, Coach Powell showed us the film many a times.
Love it.
That's going to be you this year. Awesome. Well, that was all for All Out Blitz, and that's all that we had for you. But thank you so much for coming on. And again, everybody, snapper49.com, Children's Hospital, get you some gear, get you some good seasoning and hot sauce, and help a great cause and a great young man, Byron. We really appreciate what you're doing for the community.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys. Thanks.
Absolutely. Hail to Pitt.
Yes, H2P.